get them in different colors. You can get them in black, or this is crystalline, it's blue. Just happens to be the material. They come in any other colors?
Black and blue.
Black and
That's
blue.
it.
What does the color do for the efficiency?
Actually, the darker the color, like a black with a black backboard and black frame.
I'm going to turn this on you.
Sure, I'll come
Okay.
on into and join Bill.
Okay.
So the black panels in general will offer less efficiency overall. Basically, the hotter the element, the hotter the actual solar panel itself, the less output, the less transfer of photons to electricity.
Right, because it's the light, not the heat.
And the heat is absolutely in correlation with output of electricity. The higher the heat on the actual module, the less current that flows. So you
Why
have
is
to find
that?
happy balance.
Molecules spread apart.
It's photons getting busy, and electrons, as you said, the molecules themselves, and the transfer from sort of a positive or negative to a positive flow of current through the panel itself, and that's your current that pushes the electricity moving in one direction.
So if it's 90 degrees and sunny versus 40 degrees and sunny, there's a difference in the electricity.
40 degrees will produce a greater amount of output, and it's definitely temperature related. So these sensors that Bill was talking about up here, both on the back of the module, on the front of the module, we can kind of gauge throughout the course of the year and take measurements of what's happening through the system, what type of output during what periods of year. New Hampshire is fantastic. We have cold climate, majority of the year.
Right.
Great amount of sunlight. Yeah, it's helpful.
And in the wintertime you have the snow that reflects.
The snow reflects, true, but it's also, in the wintertime, if you have these up on your roof, you would like not to have too much snow built up on the panels themselves.
I mean the snow from the ground.
The snow from the ground, the sunlight from
Reflecting
the ground
the sun.
will reflect off of the snow, that's true. Same with a white rooftop environment, for example, in a commercial system. But the snow in the wintertime definitely will cause a loss of production when they're blanketed on the module themselves.
Definitely don't want anything on it. Also, the New Hampshire, you hear people say, well, you can't have solar in New Hampshire, you don't have enough sun. Well, New Hampshire has the same amount of sun as Florida, and a little less than Hawaii. Hawaii's pretty sunny.
Yes, it is.
Does the snow and ice build up on it?
Because of the heat, when the sun hits it, it sheds pretty quick.
Does it?
It depends if you have
Self-bond.
days and days of cloudy weather and it's icy or rainy, it can build up without. But as soon as the sun comes out, it goes right through the snow, starts heating up this panel. This is I don't know, probably 90 degrees already. It's not that hot, I would guess.
So do you have to get rid of the ice and snow if it's like 3 or 4 days of cloudy, cold, freezing?
Yeah, you can come out. I've come out and brushed them off. Yeah, because when we built this, Mike D'Androni, who worked with Rich to get the material, we were coming out here every day looking at it, because it's like, wow, things making. But when you size this, you have to take the coldest recorded temperature in New Hampshire to size the equipment. Because the colder it gets, the more power it produces. And it could max out, and you got to make sure that you size everything to the coldest day that's recorded, which was like minus 40, I think. Yeah.
Something to that effect, yeah.
So that's what you got to size the stuff at.
At the end of the day, you really don't want to be messing with the solar modules that much. The snow will do its own thing. It'll fall off, run off, and the rain, the wetness will offer a nice cleaning environment, self-cleaning. If they're heavily encased in snow for weeks at a time, obviously you're losing production. It'd be nice to have some of that production. Work away the lower half of the array, and the rest will follow suit. It'll come right down.
It'll start to melt. As soon as it starts heating up, it'll come off. These are also high impact. Was it tempered glass, right?
It is. It's high efficiency, high tempered glass. 113 pounds per square foot is the actual module durability, and in this area that far exceeds anything that we would require.
Like hail or any kind of hail. Satellite parts. Maybe.
Kids throwing rocks, on another hand, that's a bit of a challenge. So no throwing rocks.
Do you use any sort of battery storage?
This device, I don't think they have any, do
no
they?
battery storage.
Okay.
They, basically, if you're going to use batteries to power your home, these turn into a battery charger. They don't actually, their sole purpose is to charge the batteries. And then from the batteries goes into an inverter, changes it to power. So we did one in Vermont, totally off the grid, on a roof, and it's all batteries. That's definitely a different sizing challenge. And batteries are expensive, aren't they?
How long do they last?
It depends on what kind you get. You get lead acid batteries, which is a lot of maintenance, and they tend, if you maintain them correctly, they can last from 8 to 10 years. And there's some that are absorbed glass matte batteries, which is kind of like a gel inside, and there's no maintenance, and they last
Very.
less time because you're not maintaining them. And those are good if you're not there all the time. If you are there only part of the time, 6 months out of the year, and then you're gone to Florida or whatever, then you definitely don't want maintenance batteries because you're going to come back and they'll be dead,
Yeah.
and they're expensive.
Okay.
And if you take if you want batteries, you just take your budget for your solar panel project and double, and you can have batteries.
That's the challenge.
Yeah, and they're heavy.
There's maintenance involved too.
Yeah.
I mean, here's the scenario. This is a grid-tied array. So if the power in the neighborhood goes down, this system shuts itself down. It's for safety reasons. It doesn't continue to power the neighboring facility here. If you were to tie in part of the battery system or a battery system to it, you want to typically have some sort of backup system. That could be done, as Bill was saying. It's
Isolation switches.
isolation or kick out. They may have generation on site where they have generators already producing power.
Yeah.
But the key point here is they can utilize this power throughout the course of the year. The battery system is a definite heavy expense in addition to this array, which is producing, was it 2/3 or if not 3/4 of their power? It's a pretty
right
good
now
percentage.
it's 100%.
100%?
But eventually it's going to catch up because during the wintertime they're not making ice cream, so they're banking all the power. And then now during the summer when they have all their machines running and everything, they're getting it back. So basically you can bank the power through the power company. You'll get credited on your electric bill. You don't actually get paid for it because, I mean, if you did at the end of the year, say you had a whole bunch saved up, they'll pay you for it at the price that they pay for it. So if you're paying 14 cents a kilowatt, you're going to get paid 4 cents. Yeah, that's a big payday right there. 6 months.
I've got a backup emergency system with the Harbor Freight